Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Kaliyugada Kalpataru. The Fifth Delight. Shri Raghavendra Guru Sarvabhouma. Chapter 1. Praise of the Lineage. Dedicated to my father-in-law, Sri Arvind Patil, who passed away on January 18th, 2025. May his soul rest in peace. In India, the Sashtika lineage had been the cradle of all forms of knowledge. The greatness and prestige of the Sashtika, that is Satvika lineage, have been elaborately described in the fourth Utsava under Kalpataru Vanashri Vyasaraja Gurusarvabhauma Charitre. It is within the Gautama Gotra and the Bigamudre family of his lineage that our protagonist Shri Raghavendra Gurusarvabhauma was born. In the land of Bharata, among the revered Saptarshis, that is 7 great sages, acknowledged by the world, Gautama Maharshi is one of the prominent ones. He is the illustrious propagator of the Gautama Gotra. Engaged in rituals such as Yajna and Yaga, Gautama Maharshi served as a protector of the virtuous by feeding thousands of people and shone as the master of all sages and the embodiment of qualities like serenity and self-discipline. Gautama Maharshi, endowed with supreme devotion to Lord Sri Narayana, practiced profound meditation, contemplation, and listening to sacred discourses. He was renowned among the ascetics for his righteous observance of the vows, such as Kruchva and Chandrayana fasting. He also excelled in conducting rituals like Darsha and Paurnamasa with perfect adherence, becoming a principal figure in the Saguneshti, that is rituals performed with material offering. Saguneshti is considered the foundation for Nirguneshti. The later, often referred to as Saguneshti or a dry ritual, involves symbolic practices like placing stones in the place of actual offerings and chanting mantras as a part of preparatory ritual. On the other hand, Suguneshti involves systematic yagas with prescribed materials, auxiliary deities, mantras, sacred spaces, suitable implements, priests and yajamana, that is performer of the sacrifice, and animals. As Saguneshti holds primacy over Niguneshti, Gautama Maharshi was paramount among other ascetics in the performance of such grand rituals. Gautama Maharshi is renowned for his extraordinary act of feeding 10,000 rishis and sages during a 12-year famine. Before delving into the story, it is essential to understand the cause of the famine as described by Varahamihira. Varahamihira states, when Shani, the son of the sun, pierces through the constellation of Rohini, known as Rohini Shakata, due to his arrangements of 6 stars resembling a cart, and moves towards Mars or Venus, Indra, the Lord of Rains, will withhold rainfall for 12 years. The splitting of the Rohini Shakata indicates human transgression, leading the earth to appear desolate, scorched, and barren. It would resemble a hermit adored with a garland of broken bones, holding a human skull in hand, akin to Kapila's vow. Furthermore, when Shani, the sun's son, breaks through Rohini Shakata and moves towards Mars or the moon, a 12-year drought ensures. Once, such a 12-year famine struck Bharata, causing immense hardships. However, Gautama Maharshi's ashram remained abundant. Many rishis and sages across various ashrama faced several challenges, struggling even to survive. Out of compassion, Gautama invited these rishis along with their families to his ashrama, where he lovingly sheltered and supported them for nearly 12 years. With divine grace, the famine ended, rains returned, and crops flourished, restoring abundance. The rishis then requested Gautama Maharshi's permission to return to their respective ashramas. However, Gautama urged them to stay for a little longer. After another 4 months, the rishis again sought his approval to depart, but Gautama asked them to remain. As months passed and Gautama continued to deny the request to leave, the rishis grew despondent. Though grateful for Gautama's protection during their famine, they longed to return to their ashramas. They feared defying his words, as doing so might invoke his displeasure. Yet they were determined to leave and began devising a plan to depart without incurring his wrath. An incident arose that presented an opportunity for the rishis' desires to be fulfilled. One day, Narada visited Kailasa, and in the presence of goddess Parvati said, "Mother, your husband has taken Ganga, your co-wife, upon his head. Does this not bring you sorrow? You should find a way to make Ganga leave Shiva's matted locks and protect your dignity." Goddess Parvati replied, "I will not do anything against that is against my husband's wishes." Narada, undeterred, went to Lord Ganesha and said, "O Gananayaka, your father has kept Ganga, your mother's co-wife, on his head. Your mother is deeply distressed. Because of this, isn't it your duty as her son to elevate her sorrow?" Hearing this, Ganesha declared, "Narada, I will take care of this matter," and disguising himself as a brahmacharin, that is, young ascetic, went to Gautama Ashrama. There, he revealed a plan to the rishis to leave Gautama Ashrama and then departed. The rishis were delighted by the brahmachari's suggestion. Following his advice, they used their spiritual powers to create a lean and weak cow and released it into Gautama's fields. The cow began eating and destroying the crops. After that moment, Gautama arrived and saw the cow running the fields. To drive it away, he simply shouted, "Hey, hey." At this, the cow collapsed to the ground and died. Gautama was heartbroken, believing he had committed the sin of cow slaughter. This was precisely the outcome the rishis had anticipated. They rushed to Gautama exclaiming, "Swami, what an unrighteous act you have committed. You have unjustly killed a cow. We cannot stay in the place where such a sinful deed has occurred. We are leaving now." Saying this, the rishis packed their belongings and left Gautama Ashrama. Returning to their respective ashramas, Gautama was deeply distressed, torn between the sorrow of losing the Brahmin families who had lived with him for so long and the burden of the sin of a cow slaughter. He pondered, why has this happened? To absolve himself of the sin, he devotedly prayed to Goddess Ganga. Moved by his devotion, Goddess Ganga descended from Shiva's matted locks to the earth and flowed over the lifeless cow. To everyone's amazement, the cow was revived, and water began flowing from its mouth. According to the etymology, Gavadiyate iti godu godamvari yasyashta Godavari eva Godavari. That is, Ganga flowing from the mouth of the cow came to be known as Godavari. Thus the river Ganga, descending from Shiva's locks, emerged as Godavari from the mouth of the cow. The miraculous event brought joy to Narada, Parvati, and Ganesha. Once the cow came back to life, Gautama examined the circumstances of its death with his spiritual insights. He discovered that the Brahmins had used their mantra power to create the cow and had deliberately caused its death, intending to falsely attribute the sin of cow slaughter to him. Realizing that the rishis had not shown gratitude for his hospitality and instead used their spiritual knowledge and power to create the cow and impose the sin on him, Gautama grew deeply angry. He cursed them, saying, "Was it not with the knowledge and the power that they committed this act? May their knowledge be destroyed." As a result of Gautama's curse, due to Gautama's curse, knowledge was lost and ignorance spread. In the Dwapara Yuga, knowledge diminished and ignorance pervaded the land, causing immense difficulties for virtuous people. Moved by the prayers of Brahma, Rudra, Indra, and other deities, the compassionate Lord Narayana incarnated as Shri Vedavyasa to restore knowledge. Gautama Maharshi became renowned not only for feeding others during the 12-year famine, but also for bringing the Ganga down from Shiva's matted locks and transforming her into the river Godavari, flowing across Bharata. Gautama Maharshi possessed extraordinary qualities not found in other sages. Inspired by Lord Hari, he composed a 5-chapter treatise on Lineage, that is the science of logic, to delude the Asuras. This work became a catalyst for the incarnation of Sri Vedavyasa, who divided the Vedas, composed the Brahma Sutras, Brahma Mimamsa Shastra, and authored 18 Puranas and Upapuranas to dispel ignorance and grant knowledge to virtuous seekers, paving their path to liberation. Thus, Gautama Maharshi, endowed with supreme greatness, became a prominent figure. His lineage gave birth to many revered scholars and saints. The Gautama lineage is no ordinary one. It surpasses even the pleasures of the heavenly realm, with members attaining the supreme results of liberation. Many radiant souls have emerged from this lineage, excelling in noble virtues and impeccable character. The Gautama lineage, like a banyan tree, continues unbroken, with its branches stretching so far that its apex is beyond sight. Many deserving individuals in this lineage have been likened to those who consume nectar, that is amrita, symbolizing their spiritual purity. Known as Sudashaneshaha, they were illustrious scholars who taught and expounded upon sacred texts such as Nyayasudha. This lineage has also produced numerous renowned women with exemplary qualities, reflecting the virtues of their father, and brothers who matched their elders in greatness. Among this illustrious descendant was a brilliant individual named Sri Krishnacharya. This remarkable Krishnacharya attained immense fame and became celebrated worldwide for his accomplishment. Hari Om. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.